I don't. Why does she have to be the priest? Wouldn't that she just be a nun? I, and I'm not even Catholic. What does this have to do with anything? And why that there? That's. Hopefully she doesn't intend to light it first. I mean, Jesus.
Sorry I'm late, Popo.
Oh, hey, Kami, real quick. Why does this person want to dress up like a Catholic priest and shove an incense burner up my booty hole?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down!
Well, excuse me for checking my emails while I waited on you.
Hello there, all you guys, gals, and non-binary pals who have made the climb atop the lookout. I am Derek, aka Kami,
And I am Matt, aka Popo.
and we are on the lookout.
And my
so
eye
are
is
you.
itchy. Damn high altitude pollen.
It's coming from whatever you're growing in those pots.
I'm not getting rid of them.
Are you kidding me? That shit's great for my glaucoma.
Uh,
This is just a disclaimer. I don't have glaucoma. At least not yet.
and as far as I know, as far as you know, I'm not growing anything in any pots. So
As far as the government needs to understand.
the government don't understand shit and don't need to understand shit.
No. I mean, they do need to understand shit. They need to understand a lot of shit, but...
Yeah, I take that back. They don't understand shit, and that's the problem.
And that's the problem.
So I was told that you were going to interview me today.
I am. We are going to just do a good old down-home interview.
I don't
straight
know.
up.
I don't know why I leaned into the laptop to glare at you. I needed to do this.
What are you glaring at?
I'm looking at you on my computer. But you're over here.
Vegeta, I'm looking at you. Nappa. Nappa, I'm over here. Oh, god damn it. All right. So, yes, I'm going to be interviewing you. We are going to get to the end of the episode, and we will be doing 25 iconic questions, because we are going to do the Inside the Actor Studio questions, as well as the Colbert Questionnaire Extraordinaire.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
But, as with all good things, let's start at the beginning. So, for legal purposes, why don't you tell the people, who are you?
Do I have to be thorough?
Who are you?
As far as you know, I'm Popo. No, my name is Matt. I am a voice actor among many, 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 many other things. Some of which actually pay me to do those things. Others do not. Like editor. That doesn't pay.
I mean, it does, by the lovely people that join this Patreon. This is just a small momentary call out. Thank you for all of you that have joined at the paid tiers. This is, of course, the last episode that is free to view.
Mm-hmm.
Starting next episode, it will be behind the paywall for at least a week. Otherwise, after a week, it will go up for free on Popo's YouTube, where we are still trying to get those viewing hours up so he can make sweet, sweet ad revenue.
But don't get comfortable just waiting. As we've discussed, certain changes will be made to the YouTube versions that you get to see for free. Certain segments will not appear. And hell, they won't be nearly as long as the versions you're going to find over on patreon.com, where you get them raw and uncut, which is just how you know you like it.
Actually, mine's cut. My parents had me get the Jewish treatment.
Yeah, mine is too. My parents thought it meant I wouldn't be spanking it as often. Well, joke's on them.
I mean,
Hi, honey.
I personally think that your dad probably got it done so that you wouldn't rip it off with your, insane monkey strength.
Hey. They were never able to prove it was insane.
Just that it was actually gorilla strength.
Yeah.
And how they did that was they had him in a ring when he was 6 years old with a silverback gorilla. He once pile drived a silverback gorilla wearing a bolo tie. Who was wearing the bolo tie, him or the silverback gorilla? The answer?
Yes.
Yes. All right. All joking, interviewing aside. All right. So yes, your name is Matt. We won't get into full legal names here, though they can kind of easily figure that out by just
Yeah, I don't.
whenever they don't.
I don't hide it unless asked directly. Then I act like it's some big secret.
I mean, we'll never tell anyone your middle name because that's how you know they're Fae and they're trying to take your soul. All right. So, I mean, yes, that's your name. You're Matt. Where? How about you tell people where are you from? Where can our viewers possibly encounter you in the streets?
Oh, I'm a Texas cryptid by birth. I'm a rare encounter, to be sure, though people have. Unfortunately, like most cryptids, any picture you try to take of me will turn out blurry.
That's mostly because, as we've learned, this is no offense meant to you fans, but most of you apparently carry potatoes around in your pocket instead of actual smartphones.
And yeah, and it would also help if you'd calm down. It's not that serious.
Hey, we gotta be careful with certain catchphrases around these parts right now.
I wasn't doing a catchphrase. I was being quite literal. It's not that serious. I'm just a goof.
So you are located in good old Texas. Texas, of course, being a huge state. So if those of you are able to run into him, well, best of luck.
Yeah, you have to be a lot more specific nowadays because I no longer travel the wide open highways as was my last
And
job.
byways.
No, I stick pretty close to home these days. So
So with that being said, you said your last job. What was your last job?
I drove the big rigs across the country, and I worked for a company that I tried to defend their honor and their reputation, but now that they fired me, I don't give a shit. Swift.
Yep. No.
You know, Stevie Wonder's Institute for Truckers.
Indeed. Now that couldn't have been your first job, though, right?
No,
I'm gonna break the rules. I'm gonna ask a lady her age. How old are you, Popo?
I am 37 years old at the time of this recording. Because, you know, the internet's
And that,
forever.
and that's how old he'll be forever.
Forever and ever and ever and ever.
Gonna hit his 50th birthday. Y'all are gonna be like, "How old are you, Popo?" 37.
Don't listen to the timestamp at the bottom of this video, okay? I died 80 years ago by the time you're seeing this, and I've been trapped here. Let me out. Get me out.
Nope, you're trapped in here with me.
Yeah, I could think of worse people.
Aw, thanks. Me too, buddy. Me too. We'll patch Strawberry and Psy into the call and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
That'd be an okay afterlife by
The
me.
hell? When did we get here? You've always been here.
It's nice to meet you. Join the animatronic family.
Now you're stuck in the Discord chat with me.
So, like I said though, that couldn't have been your first job. At 37, you've probably had some wild adventures in your younger years. What was your first job?
Well, my first job, and probably the one that I've returned to the most, is what is my now in-between job. My father dropped out of high school, or actually I think he dropped out of middle school, and went straight into the oil field and wound up starting his own company as a service technician for oil field compressors and engines. And he had his own shop, and that is where I worked during, spring break, summer break. Just if school was out that day, that's where I would be. And so you're not far off on the monkey strength, because, I was turning wrenches when, most people were still learning how to flush the toilet.
And that's when you broke the toilet handle and they had to put a wrench in place of it, right?
Mm-hmm. There was no stopping me then.
That was your first job. your most recent job before your current one, which anyone that follows you on TikTok, I'm not going to bother asking, what's your current job? We all know you, just like I am part of the school district. I'm a
Yes,
paraeducator. You are a school bus driver.
that's true.
Um, Primarily for middle and high school, correct?
Elementary and middle. I don't have a high
Elementary,
school
middle.
route
Okay. Um,
because my
so
middle
you know
school is
what?
so far away.
So you've done a few TikToks of Popo story time, Popo lore drops.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
All
what
true,
would
by the
you
way.
say? All true. I'm pretty sure you've done this one, but what would you say your craziest job has been?
My
Your most
craziest.
wild, your most wild and out there
I don't.
profession.
I don't even have to think. It was in the trucking industry. It was in the oil field trucking industry, I should say. I worked for a company called Wrench Runner. They were based out of Gordon, Texas, and I don't know what they're called now because apparently they change their name every 6 months to avoid DOT. And I should have known something was up the day that I showed up and filled out an application. They offered to have me fill it out there, and I did. And then when I gave it back to him, he immediately sent me to go get a urine test. And I did. And then when I came back, I was expecting the whole shtick about, okay, well, when he comes back, we'll call you. No, he was getting ready to dispatch me that day. I was like, hold on there, Coach. He's like, I didn't come prepared for this.
I
Like,
didn't come prepared for this.
I
You don't
came
know if
to
I'm on
get,
anything.
yeah, like the test ain't even cold yet, man. Like, I just came here to get an application and maybe talk to you. Like, we're already way ahead of where I thought we were going to be. Now, if I can leave maybe tomorrow, well, we don't have a truck going out tomorrow. It'll be next week. I'll leave next week then. Like, that's fine. And it did not take me long to realize that I was one of three people in the entire company that did not have a criminal record. That I was one of the only two drivers they had that had their full endorsement set, including hazmat. And during my time there, I had to work with literal crackheads who were cooking meth in the houses that we stayed in. Not while I was there, mind you. This was like I found out after the fact that they had been doing this because I got to meet the DEA of New Mexico.
Not the
Because
guy from Breaking Bad, surprisingly.
no, surprisingly, no, they called me one day and they said, "Hey, go drop those guys off in Oklahoma City and then come back. We're gonna need you to go to New Mexico tomorrow." I was like, "Okay," so I did. And then he tells me before we leave that the guys that were out there in New Mexico just went AWOL. Nobody knows where they are. We show up at the house; it's completely empty. And then the DEA shows up the next day to look at the house, and they're like, "You're not who was here." And I'm like, "No, the boss just told us to come over here and, take over the routes." And he's like, "The routes?" I was like, "Yeah, we're part of a trucking company. When, you know, other companies run out of hours for their drivers, they call us to pick up the slack and help move their equipment for them." He goes, "Oh, well," they were very forthcoming, by the way. They told us everything. Well, they told me everything. And the manager that showed up, dude must have been hauling ass too, because he got there quick. They told us that they had been setting up buyers to buy from these people. They had gotten in the house and gotten footage of them cooking the meth. Hell, one of the drivers who I had worked with extensively up to that point, high out of his fucking mind in his room, sitting at the foot of his bed like he thinks he's driving a truck. They had footage of
All
this.
right.
So easily the most insane job I've had. There's way more that happened while I was out there, but for the purpose of this interview, I think that will suffice.
All right. Well, I'm all about doing things in flip side manners. So that was the most insane. What would you say the most, aside from your current job?
Oh,
Because
damn.
driving a school bus, fairly tame. Now, granted, as someone who's also in the school industry, in the education field, students can be freaking wild. So to say it is the most tame might not be true. But aside from your school bus driving, what would you say your most tame job has been?
Uh, Easily, when I was in college, I worked as a overnight cleaner at a Cracker Barrel, old country store. And, I had some funny moments there too, but for the most part, I was maybe the only person there unless it was a Friday or Saturday and then there was two of us. But,
Now hold
I
on a
mean, you
second there,
just
Popo.
mop the floors.
Now hold on a second though. Wasn't that Cracker Barrel haunted?
As I said, some funny things did happen. I had a moment where I could have swore I saw a shadow move around the corner into the kitchen. And it wasn't only until later when I went back there and ended up almost giving my manager the stone cold stunner because they come walking from around a corner. I had no idea they were still there. I spent the
What if
whole
I told
night.
you? What if I told you they weren't there?
Ooh. No, they were very much there. Because I screamed, they screamed. Like, what are you doing here?
You screamed, they screamed, the ghost screamed,
And they're
everybody had
like,
a good
I'm doing inventory. Why are you here in the middle of the night to do inventory?
time. What other time would I have to do inventory?
That's a fair question. I'm sorry I'm yelling. You scared me.
So, overnight cleaner for Cracker Barrel. Obviously, in the Popo lore drops, you've mentioned that you've been you were a corrections officer
I
at
was.
a specifically at a
Yeah.
correctional facility.
How funny is that? That wasn't the craziest job I ever had.
Yeah. You were a
Definitely
bouncer
was
at a
not the most.
strip club.
Yeah, surprisingly not the craziest job or the most tame.
What else was there that you've mentioned? Didn't you were a line? I don't know if this one came up in lore drops, but this is just as your best friend. I know this one. Line cook at Chili's.
Yep. I took a brief
Line
stint.
cook that ended up basically having to act as freaking like head cook because
Yeah.
that's just the way of not quite fast food. Fast
But
food.
then they wouldn't give me, even though I learned the entire line, they wanted to act like I didn't. And then when I pressed them about getting my own coat with my name on it, they're like, well, technically, we hired you as a dishwasher. Because at this time, at this point in time when I worked there, I was also a postman. I was also a mailman. I was delivering the mail in town for the rural area. And, I needed an evening job to help make up the money. So I was washing dishes. And then I think my second night there, one of their cooks didn't show up and they needed me to cover the kitchen. And then ever since then, I stayed in the kitchen. I washed dishes for one night. But then there's like, well,
Well,
technically you're a
technically speaking, you're a
dishwasher.
dishwasher.
And I was like, well, technically your dishwasher has been training your chefs, or your cooks rather, and you lent this dishwasher out to cook for the Chili's in the next town over, and they tried to send you three of their cooks in a case of your favorite beer to keep me.
So when can I get my coat?
So when I gotta
You
get my
can't.
coat? Yeah, they never gave me my coat.
Of course not. That's that. It's sad to say, pretty commonplace in, from what I understand, all big chain companies, whether it's retail, which was my old neck of the woods before education, or not quite fast food, fast food.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned them, obviously. My lovely wife, Strawberry, real name Destiny, and your wife, Sai, real name, and she's always impressed that I can pronounce it correctly, Saida.
Mm-hmm.
How about that love story? How did you and Saida meet?
Oh well.
Regale the maggots with the tale of Popo's love.
Now, I'm gonna tell this a little out of order because I think it's funny the way this happened. The first time I met her was not the first time she met me.
Okay.
The first time I met her, I was on a dating site. I think it was Match.com. And true to fashion, I was paying for it, and she had a free subscription. She was on a trial subscription. Met me. on like the tail end of me finishing talking to the third person who's on a fucking dating site telling me, oh, well, I already have a boyfriend. I'm just here to meet friends. You's a lying bitch.
You're
But
here to
then,
meet your next boyfriend.
could have been me, but not anymore. Yeah, I come across her profile and we hit it off. We start chatting. And, we start moving to texting after a while. And then we decide to meet up. First date, I thought it went horribly. Like she did not talk more than 3 times that whole first date. And then I was like, oh, she don't like me. Which was not the case. She was just very nervous because she's not used to men being bigger than her. My wife is 6'1". I'm 6'2". So I only had an inch on her. But if we were to stand shoulder to shoulder, like her shoulder here, her other shoulder only comes to about right here.
Because you're a wide boy.
I am a wide boy. I got to come through most doorways sideways. He's seen it. And I think the hotel was the last one where I have to kind of like angle myself a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you had to basically shoulder check that door.
Yeah, I had to shoulder check the door. Because otherwise I'll just walk and go.
Kami, get the butter.
Call me. Get my lard. But,
Stuck in the door again? Stuck in the door again.
We had a few more dates. And then I think on the 4th date, we had already talked about making it official. We were going to go steady. And post that conversation, I was talking about how, I think a few months prior, they had this community day on the college grounds where there was like, I don't remember exactly what they called it, but there was like karaoke in one part. There's a lot of food vendors there. There was even some like Native American showcasing going on, like very like culturally, rich, stuff. I can't think of a
Very
better
cool.
word for it right now. And it was a very cool place.
Multicultural festival, something like
And
that.
yeah, I told her that, I went heavy on the karaoke. And she's like, what did you sing? And I told her I had sung Thunderstruck, which was always a fun song for me because back in high school, during our prom, they had karaoke and the whole football team got up there to sing Thunderstruck. Then by the end of the first chorus, only the quarterback and the team captain were left. Everyone else had gotten embarrassed and gone and sat down. And then I just ran up there and finished it with them. But
Fun
she's
fact,
like,
ladies and gentlemen, most jocks do not have performance abilities.
no, they don't. They get so scared when you like put them on the spot. But I was telling her about that, and then she tells me, I saw you. I what? She goes, no, I was there. My friend goes to the same college you're going to. And she told me to come over. So she had seen me like a month and a half before I even saw her. But yeah,
That
it
is what we
wasn't.
call kismet, boys
Yeah.
and girls.
And then it wasn't too long after that I realized that her family does not care for me. But big white boy dating a beautiful black woman who's only a year younger than me. And at the time, this was like, I was in 19. She was 18 when we met. She did her best to hide me. But I never got over the fact that she and I had done the deed so many times in her house when her parents were there long before they ever met me. That, it's like, we don't think you're the right fit for her. Oh, I think I fit pretty well. Yeah. And the whole time I'm in the back of my own mind going, don't say it. Don't you fucking say it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was before he knew it, the birth of Popo.
Yeah, Popo existed before I even knew what to call it. I was like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, that is the personification of Popo. Like, it all started with me doing impressions. The pecking order. But then when I came time to differentiate myself and I built the Blanco onto Popo. Uh, I, steered away from just the monotone delivery of everything and gave it more emotion, more personality, and then eventually the little back part of my brain, that voice that needs to shut the fuck up, uh, just kind of melded with it. And
Understandable.
that's what Popo became, and that's why he lives in the closet.
And he's trapped in the closet.
Trapped is a funny way of saying it.
But actually, that is a pretty good segue. I mean, let's talk about Popo, shall we?
Let's.
You started on TikTok not as Popo Blanco, obviously.
Mm-mm.
Actually, if I remember correctly, when I found you, when you were first doing the DBZ filters before you changed your name, you were something to do with bear. I can't remember exactly what it was. Texas Bear at that time.
No, there was two names before Popo. I kept my DeviantArt name. I used to draw a lot, and that's before DeviantArt was just all porn. They still had standards back in my day.
DeviantArt
I can
and
see the
Tumblr,
white. I can see the white hairs starting to form from just saying that.
DeviantArt and Tumblr both kind of went down the same path.
But that was Texas Grizzly 88, and that's because I was born in 1988. I know that 88 is a dog whistle. I know that now, which is why I changed it. I didn't know it then, and this guy goes, "Hey, why do you have 88 in your profile name?" "Oh, I was born in 1988. And he's like, "That's the only reason?" "Yeah, why?" "Well, actually, that's a dog whistle for white supremacy." And I'm like, changing the name now. And the second name was Man Bear Grizz.
Married to a black woman, probably not a good idea to
Not
have
a good
white
idea.
supremacy.
Oh, you want to know something else that's funny? What initial, Kami, what initials are on my tramp stamp?
PB.
PB. Did you know that the Proud Boys?
Powerbomb?
Did you know that the Proud Boys are doing tattoos that have PB as their fucking initials?
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing is next time we see Zero, we're gonna need to touch that touch that there tattoo up and figure out.
No, it's just that nobody can ever see it.
I mean, the good news is it's a tramp stamp. So.
Most likely, unless I really like you, you ain't gonna see it anyway.
And if they do see it, they're not going to think it stands for Popo Blanco.
But for those who are watching this and who haven't seen it, it is the Red Ribbon Army logo. Because the whole deal was, if I can get to this gathering, I'll get a Red Ribbon Army tattoo as a tramp stamp. And then me and Zero talked about it while we were there, and we're like, okay, but it's going to be a fake out, because their whole joke is he's going to put PB in there for Popo Blanco. And I'm like, no, it's just supposed to be R for Red Ribbon. He goes, there's R's in it, and the part that I forgot to say was, yes, 2 of them exclusively. But that was the whole joke. But now I'm finding out that it's a potential dog whistle, and I'm like, God damn it! Like, I can't get away from this shit. Which is why, Popo Blanco has white people exhaustion.
Well, and this is also why we will not be shortening Popo Blanco to PB.
No. Like, I don't regret the tattoo itself. I regret that there are people out there fucking it up for me.
Of course. So yes, you were Man Bear Grizz, and I vaguely remember, I believe that was the name that I met you under. How did you go about? It must have been, some extensive monologue. Somebody must have asked you to do the all these squares make a circle scene, right? That was what brought Popo to the surface.
No.
How many words was it that brought Popo to the surface, that made your fan base go, "Hey, that was Popo"?
It was one word.
Would you care to regale us with what that one word was?
Well, to do that, I have to tell you how we got to this point. There was a filter on TikTok made by a man who obviously did not understand Dragon Ball one bit. I noticed from playing around with it for about 20 minutes that even though Kaioshin appeared 4 times and Goku appeared 6 times and Deborah twice, there was no Vegeta. To the point that I even made this video, uploaded it privately, after about spinning it multiple times, uploading it privately, and then looking at it in slow motion. There was no Vegeta anywhere in this filter.
And to clarify, you mentioned a few characters that, yes, they're slightly obscure, but like they're still well known. Didn't this filter have like Devilman and stuff in it from Dragon Ball?
It did. It had Devilman. It had Grandpa Gohan and his cat mask in it, but there was no Vegeta. So I'm like, I can work with this. And I started a video where I'm like, I don't remember exactly what I was starting with, but I do remember at one point I was like, I want Vegeta. Give me Vegeta. Let me see Vegeta. You know, my voice just started getting into that Vegeta mode because not many people knew that I could do impressions. And that at the time, the impressions I did do were just of things that I liked. You know, I didn't try branching out with my voices until I realized, okay, I might have a knack for this. Which if you go back and you look at my initial voices for things, they've gotten so much better over the years. But, because, you know, even then, Popo was a little low. You know,
And
but
to be fair,
now he's up here.
And to be fair, small pause on the interview, just slight loop back to our last episode of On the Lookout for our fans that are attempting to become voice actors or impressionists themselves. That is because of years of practice. Practice does not make perfect, but practice makes refinement.
Yes.
Practice makes refinement. You notice as you do something whether you're doing it right or wrong, and you start to try and do it more right, or you lean into doing it wrong and make a whole new character. But that's the thing. It's, yes, your Popo has gotten, first of all, your Popo has taken on a life of its own. I would argue that Popo Blanco, while it stems from the Team 4-Star Popo, it is very much its own thing.
It is its own thing. And I get it. That's why I don't get upset. You know, sometimes I would always get upset when people would say, and we'll get back to the whole video in a second, but when people would say, oh, your Winnie the Pooh sounds like Shaggy, when it doesn't. When people say, why does Popo sound a bit like old Greg? I get that. I get that because, you know, Popo sounds like this. Hi. And, you know, Popo Blanco's a little bit more all over the place. He's more expressive. And, you know, sometimes if I'm talking in the right registry, he does sound like old Greg. But, you know, I wanted to flesh Popo out as a whole character, so, you know.
Yeah.
The passing resemblance, I get. When people say, he sounds like Hank Hill, no, he really doesn't. That's a whole nother position for delivery. But in that Vegeta video, it lands on Popo. The characters just flip through and then eventually lands on Popo. And I just said, oh, hi. That was it. That was all I said. Then I kept making videos with Vegeta looking for himself and then reacting to the characters that he would see as the abridged Vegeta would react to them, which is why some people are like, oh, well, dude, how do you not know who Grandpa Gohan is? I do. But Vegeta wouldn't. How the fuck is Vegeta gonna know who the Great Saiyaman is?
Again, I believe one of my favorites was when you got Chaozu in that. Is that a Pokemon?
Is that a Pokemon? Is that a Pokemon? Yeah, it was all very, like, TFS inspired humor. But then eventually I got to the point where Popo had started to take on a life of his own and was even fucking with Vegeta on these. When Vegeta started doing the Pokemon filters and was trying to build his perfect team, and then it would suddenly just randomly glitch out and he'd wind up with a fucking Bellsprout. When he was going to get, you know, a Mewtwo.
So, as you said, you wanted to flesh Popo out as more of a whole, especially specifically Popo Blanco as more of a whole character.
But before we do
I,
that, I feel I would be remiss if I didn't tell everybody Popo only came to be what it is today because I fucked around and found out.
Explain
I
yourself.
did I not say I would if I could get to 100,000 followers and get this costume, all the pieces that I'd put in a wish list on Amazon, that not only would I do a Popo version of Lizzo's is About Damn Time,
Mhm.
but I would change my name to Papa Popo. And that's where it started. Because that took less than a week.
Yes, it did.
And that's like 3 days to hit over 100,000 followers. It took less than a week for everything to show up. And then I was like, well, I guess I better get to writing some lyrics, which I did. And then over time, they introduced nicknames on your profile. You had your profile name, then you had nicknames. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be Papa Popo. And I just went with Popo Blanco to help drive home the fact that no, I was never going to put on makeup.
Yeah. Because, fun fact, as much as it would not be insinuating that Popo is an African American person, it would still be blackface, which is not good.
No. Which is why I think I pitched you the idea that if they ever did a live action Mr. Popo, he could literally be maybe like a Middle Eastern man or something like that, but instead of jet black skin, his face is just covered in tattoos.
Yeah. Especially because jinns are known for being heavily tattooed.
Yeah.
And I think that that would be fitting. But as I was saying, though, as you said, you wanted to flesh out Popo Blanco as a whole character.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across you when you were still, Man Bear Grizz, and I wouldn't we didn't immediately become best friends by any means. But I was one of your patrons. I ended up paying
You
for
were.
I paid for you to do the Master Roshi. This is my greatest and final Kamehameha speech. Um,
And I do hope I did you proud on that one.
Oh, you very much did. But I remember the comment that I left. I believe it's still pinned as one of your top videos, actually. I remember the comment that I left that really started our friendship because someone asked what your real voice was. And my response was, oh, come on. His real voice is Pooh Bear.
It's no longer a pinned comment or a pinned video because I do try to alternate those. It's mainly with the ones that I wish would get more traction.
Okay.
And we did hit a million with that video. And it's like, you said, I do believe your real voice is Pooh Bear. And it's like, you believe my voice is Pooh Bear. Oh, bother. They're on to me.
Which then turned into someone commenting on that of like, bitch stole my voice. To which I responded with a video that went, your voice. Pooh Bear is life. Pooh Bear is legion.
I was going with the love art.
We are Pooh Bear.
We are all Pooh Bear.
We are all Pooh. We are the Omni Pooh. Oh God. But I suppose that would be, and the timeline's a little murky considering we became friends around 2020, which is a weird the point in this timeline where things got wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah, they really did.
But tell the people, if you would tell the people how I came to be your commie.
Well, you see, it all started with a financial transaction. I was looking to raise, as all of them do. I was looking to make some money with these voices by commissioning people. It's like, you could tell me what character voice you want me to say and want me to use and what you want me to have them say. And if it's too raunchy for TikTok, I'll just send it to you in an email. And Kami was the most active of the patrons that I had from that. And over time, we just started talking more. Like I would see him pop up, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's Derek," and I'd go, we'd chat in my comment section of videos and DM each other, and then one day, if I'm remembering this correctly, you approached me with this idea of growing my brand, like how to kind of
It
flesh it
was
out even more. And
it
I
wasn't
said,
necessarily your it wasn't necessarily your brand. It was more so that you were trying to distinctly be Popo Blanco. You A big thing that was happening in the early time of this was I, just like I did for Jeremy Norse Forged, friend of the Lookout. Um, I was moderating your comment sections. Like
that's what it
people would
was.
ask questions, and it was like, oh, he's getting a bunch of questions. He's only one dude. If it's something I can answer, I'll answer it. And a lot of ones you would get is, oh my god, are you the voice of Popo from Team Four Star? And it had to be a lot of like, no, he's not affiliated
No.
with Team Four Star in any way, shape, or form. I understand he has the tattoo, but no, he is not. That the voice you're looking for is Lanny, who also did a bunch of other character voices. Um, he's just a really great impressionist and a really great dude. You should stick around. And as you developed Popo Blanco, when we got nickname abilities, um, I was like, I feel like we need to expand how this Popo is different. So like what are some things that you would change for, like, we got the abridged verse. What's things you would
Yeah.
change for the Blanco verse? And you're like, first of all, love that name, that we're gonna stick with that Blanco verse.
Yeah, Blancoverse.
And you
I
were
still
like,
love that name.
I still love that name, and it's what our established canon for our characters is.
Yeah,
Like,
because,
as much as
for
I don't
most people, uh, every performer that has a character having its own lore, not necessary. I would like to point out that between Kami and I, we're probably combined responsible for 12% of that lore. Everything else is just what other people have been saying, and it's like, look, they already believe this. Let's just paint it in.
exactly. We'll figure it out.
We'll work around it.
It's paint by numbers, man. We'll be fine. Oh, look, they gave us some chartreuse. We needed that for number 12.
Oh shit. But yeah, then I said at one point, it's like, well, Popo needs a Kami. Do you want to be my Kami?
And I was like, yeah,
Because
yeah, I do.
honestly, at the point in time that I asked you that, I could not think of a single person that I trusted more. Still can't, by the way, that I would trust more to tackle this endeavor with.
And I appreciate that. I'm
Yeah,
proud to be doing this with you.
because
And that is one thing, as much as this is the Popo interview,
you were the
cast.
order to my chaos.
Well, and that's one thing I want to make sure I point out. As much as this is the Popo interview cast, I go by Derek as Kami. Originally, it is Derek. Originally, it was Derek, the new Kami, and that was because we had established in the lore that Dende shirked his guardian responsibilities to go
Oh,
live
yeah.
in the bushes outside of
Outside of
Gohan's
Gohan's
house.
house. Yeah.
And Popo was like, "Well, oh Kami, damn it, I can't even say that. There isn't a Kami right now. Um, we need a new Kami." So he
And
posted a job on
I'm
Craigslist.
like, you, the schmuck with the dinosaur, get up here.
I don't have a dinosaur anymore. Someone killed it.
Didn't we get you a stuffed one?
You did. You got me a stuffed ankylosaurus. It's currently sitting out in my living room
Yeah.
with Destiny, who's reading. Um, but that was again another piece of established lore, is that I am a immortal. We don't entirely know how. The joke is that I became immortal because of being in the presence of Popo when
It's
in
very
caveman time,
it's very
in the brief
Vandal.
period
It's very Vandal
in the brief
Savage esque.
period where in the brief period where man and dinosaur did coexist, I had a pet ankylosaurus. And someone in my tribe shouted the forbidden words of Popo. And the meteor that killed the dinosaurs, yeah, it was Popo's stool. Popo took a shit, and it apparently crushed the earth with
Pop Popo
meteoric
made a
force.
Popo.
It was also made of Popo because
That's
yes, that is That is the funny thing about Popo Blanco. Would you like to tell the people what Popo Blanco is en español? Which is fitting
The,
because a large
uh,
portion of Texas's population
sí, señor.
speaks español.
Sí, señor. Popo Blanco en español is white poo-poo. Es inglés. I know when I speak Spanish in my normal registry, it sounds like I should be advertising something on the radio.
Hablamos español.
12 balmos español. 6555 But
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis.
it's like that sounds like a general commercial, like for a car rate you can get online. Go to the general and save some time. Oh, but no.
Hablamos español.
Yeah, we painted that one. I've painted the lore that uh, Popo, what became of Blanco, was Popo from the abridged universe after it was ended. Went searching the multiverse for a vessel, got stuck with me, and just over the years, we have my influence has grown to such a point that I'm able to differentiate myself from Popo, while Popo has been influenced by my id. So he's more emotional and variant with his deliveries.
Now keep in mind, you're forgetting a very crucial thing here, and this is where
Oh,
the
no, I don't
joke
know.
goes.
I don't know
Not
what
the
you're
joke,
talking about, Kami.
not the joke. The truth actually comes that I am the Blancoverse historian as well. Not it's not that he went searching the multiverse for a vessel. He wished on Shenron for the most vile and terrifying thing imaginable that he could possess, and Shenron gave him a quirked up white boy with access to the internet.
Oh, God damn it! I used to be funny.
That is why you are the vessel of Senor Popo.
As a quirked up white boy with access to the internet, and he got blasted by early 2000s forums. So he's so happy now that he still maintains the, I guess, the title of the most evil being in the universe, which is a cis white man from America.
Yep. and and to be fair, and this is something we still need to, we're still waiting to get you to the right number of followers, but we may have to just we have to figure out something else for this because TikTok is slowly but like it's not gonna get canceled anymore. It's not gonna it's not gonna get banned. That's what we're looking for, not canceled. It's not gonna get banned anymore because it got bought by a majority ownership is now with an American company. But we had said if you got to a certain number on TikTok, I think we said 400,000. We were going to release our parody of I Hugged Cthulhu,
Yeah.
which was Rule 34, as you mentioned, being on forums in the early 2000s.
Oh, God, I can't wait to do that. We still need to do the Can I Train?
This is true. We do need to do that.
Because we're like we set that goal for 300,000. I'm at 307,000 as of yesterday morning.
Which, for those of you that are listening that are also TikTok fans, thank you guys for that.
Yeah, no, thank you. What the fuck
big
is wrong
thank
with
you,
you?
actually.
Thank you.
Well, and big thank you for me actually, because it was a long time ago when we used to enjoy TikTok lives. But you put out a TikTok that encouraged your following to come follow me because I was your commie.
Yeah.
And you really wanted to be able to go live with me, and I really wanted to be able to go live with you because I would always be moderating. I would hop into every chat and I would moderate, but like there's times, especially with character limits, that it was like, oh, I have an answer to this, but I can't answer you. I don't have the ability to type enough. I need to be able to say this.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing some TikTok lives there for a hot minute, and to be fair, I would argue that those were the precursor to this. They were the precursor to On the Lookout.
They were. Top the Lookout Productions was 110% you. You came up with that name. Because I think that if you had asked me, I was like, I don't even know if I should continue to call myself what I've been calling myself, let alone what we're going to call a company.
Well, and that's always been a fear for both of us is that we are technically borrowing IP from Toei Animation slash the late great Akira Toriyama.
Yeah,
Um, and to a lesser or some extent greater extent, Team Four Star. But when I lost my job at Lowe's, and we'll get into this more when we because we're going to do a reverse of this episode where you're interviewing me.
that's right.
Well, when we get to that, we'll get more into this. But when I lost my job at Lowe's, my brother Nick, the lovely architect of the Lookout, Tuff Lipton, um, he asked me, he's like, "So you're gonna have some free time on your hands until you get a new job, and like I want to help you make some income, so let's get you streaming." So he helped me set up Streamlabs, and he was like, "We need to set you up with a Discord. Like every good streamer has a Discord. That's how you connect with your community." And you had a Discord that just kind of like was there, but was kind of falling apart because the person that made it for you like kind of neglected it. And Nick never neglects this Discord.
Yeah,
Humongous.
the person that made it neglected it.
Yes, totally. It wasn't
Yeah.
you at all.
No, no,
Um,
it was me. I made it. Didn't nobody else have a part in this? I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't.
and here
We'll
you
be
are.
in chat. We're in fucking like as much as I've been streaming. I'm like, what's the command to raid somebody?
Pretty sure it's exclamation mark raid, Popo.
It's backslash raid.
Backslash raid. So he had me make this, and he was like, "Well, what do you want to call it?" Because originally, my former nickname before I was the new Kami, all through high school, I was known as Ace, and this was before asexuality was really a thing. So it wasn't a like, "Oh, he's Ace," because I am not. I'm actually quite the opposite. I'm technically Pan. Um, so I was like, he originally called it like I believe he called it Ace's deck of cards or Ace's house of cards, and I was like, I don't
Yeah.
like House of Cards. Too much insinuation for Kevin Spacey. And this
Yeah.
was this was shortly after everything came out about Kevin Spacey. So I was like, so I was like, I'm known on TikTok as the new Kami because of like my partnership with Matt. How about we call it the Lookout? That's where Kami and Popo live. Let's call it the Lookout. And so we did.
And we're
And
now sitting
when
at almost 300.
well, we are literally in Discord. So hold on, let me reactivate my mouse real quick, and I will scroll on over and let you know. Members
Completely unrelated. Um, my buddy Chris,
286. So
yeah,
yes,
we're getting
almost
there.
300.
My buddy Chris on my werewolf video, he goes, "This is the order of lycanthropy: lichen, werewolf, rougarou, wolfman, dogman, lumberjack, crackhead."
Yes, yes, of course, of course. Now it's funny. You keep talking about that your friend Chris, and earlier you said but not anymore when we were talking about oh they're looking for their next boyfriend, and you're like, well, that could have been me, but not anymore. You were insinuating that it's because you're married, but I think it's really because Popo, don't you have a boyfriend?
He'll never admit it. Yes, I have a very flamboyant gay friend who lives in California, and he and I used to go to college together. But he's married, happily so, as am I. But we talk on the phone frequently, and because next to Derek, he's my best friend. He's known me a lot longer than Derek has, and I wouldn't hesitate to say that the both of you know roughly the same about me, which is everything. But when we were on the phone, I think a little over a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now, his husband comes in here. He goes, "Oh, you on the phone with one of your girlfriends?" And the way he says like girlfriend, like, and he goes, "No, it's a boyfriend." And he meant to say it's not a girlfriend, it's one of my boyfriends, but he said it too fast, and I'm like, after all these years, and he goes, "Fuck. No, let's take it slower. Take it slower." I've been waiting for this day. He says, he goes, "Shut."
Now as you mentioned, talking on the phone, that actually reminds me to loop back really quick to how I became your commie. It's shortly after me becoming your commie, but like still kind of getting the feel of what that really means. We would spend six
Oh,
to eight hour like
I
6 to 8 hour stretches because you'd be on the road and it happened to be a day that I'm off at Lowe's or something,
yep.
or I had just gotten home from Lowe's and it's like, oh, I don't work until later tomorrow, I can stay up a little late.
I am a
And we
chatty
would just
bitch.
talk while you're driving over the road shooting the shit. We would talk
Yep,
Pokemon because we had both gotten not Sword and Shield, we had both gotten Scarlet and Violet.
that's right. Um,
So
yeah, which apparently people are showing me DLC where it's got to do with you have a rival with a Char Cadet, and you have another one, and it's like if you pick an Armor Rouge, they get a Ceruledge, and it's
okay.
like, how much have I fucking? I need to get back into playing it,
You got
but
to play some ZA. That's
I gotta
true.
play some
I
ZA.
personally have not played any of ZA yet because I don't have the Switch 2 yet. I know you don't either. You got it for the Switch 1. I just personally don't want to buy it for the Switch 1 to then have to upgrade it for the Switch 2.
Which is
Um,
another thing about me. Very rarely do I buy my own games anymore.
no, because as a matter of fact, that was a question that I had lined up for this interview, and we can
We'll
just
get to
dive
that.
right into it.
Oh, or we can do it now.
What is what would you say the greatest, aside from just straight money to help you get out of holes and things of that nature? What would you say the greatest gift that the community has given you is? And no, you're not allowed to be a sappy fucking say me.
Was it gonna? Um,
As we
no,
see
I
him
mean
furiously
it
scratching
really,
something out on the
no, it
screen.
really does depend on gift, because from an emotional standpoint, I have far more support in my life than I have had at any other point in my existence. And I say existence because I realized that honestly before TikTok, I was getting by. Like I had stifled so much of myself and suppressed so much just trying to survive. I used to have like a arsenal of like swords and axes and all kinds of weaponry and instruments that I sold over the years because life keeps kicking me in the dick, and I had to do what I had to do to get by. Um, I have nowhere near the arsenal that I used to, but because of people that I've met, that I've come to know, I've not only regained that former sense of self and that passion for all things nerdy, but I've even expanded into other avenues that I had not explored before. I didn't know the first goddamn thing about Magic the Gathering before meeting Rusty.
For those wondering, for those that don't know, Rusty, also known as Homebrew Himbo, our very own Krillin for
Yeah,
Tropical Lookout
he's our
Production,
Krillin.
our chief quality control, quality assurance. That's what I was looking for. Our chief quality assurance officer.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just so much that was given to me, and this is from an emotional standpoint, that if I ever have an issue, I can't get to Chris, I can't get to Kami, which I prefer bothering Chris over Kami just because I know Chris doesn't have a job. And I won't be bothering him. He actually likes answering my phone calls because I'm his boyfriend. But
I mean, I like answering your phone calls too, but from the hours of 9 until 4:30, I'm
right,
unavailable.
right. But from a more practical stance, I would have to say the the best gifts that the community has given me are these tools that I'm using now. Now the webcam I'm on, I managed to slip that off of TikTok as an advertisement. So I got a 4K webcam for the price of a 60-second video. This microphone here, which is one of the best condenser mics you can get on the market, and it rivals a microphone that's like $3,000 more expensive than it. And there's zero difference in quality. Now, if you're listening to this and the mic is peaking, it's because I still struggle to figure out what the right level is for the pickup of this goddamn software. This laptop I'm recording on was crowdfunded. The video games in my Steam library, 90% of them are gifts. It is because of this community I have been able to expand as far as I have into things like voice acting and into streaming. I can have a wider variety of games to play and not be out of pocket for it because people, for some reason or another, and I know they'll tell me what those reasons are, but there has to be something more to it than that, are willing to part with their own, expendable income to watch me succeed and to watch me grow and expand. And one of these days I'm going to figure out what it is.
I like to think, and this is where a little bit of is one of my only narcissistic tendencies. Is
I could have just said you and saved us 9.5 minutes, but no, I can't do that.
No, you're not allowed to do that. I like to think that it's because our community, and I'm very proud of them for this, does embody the axiom that I ask of them at the end of every episode, at the end of every stream, and the thing that I live my life by, which is in all that you do, above all else, do good. And that's where I want to shout out all of you heroes that are watching the podcast or listening to the podcast today. Whether it's, right as it launched or you're going back and doing a rewatch, just know that I stand by this, and I firmly believe I'll be standing by this for years to come. We have the best community out there because they give without judgment. They give for the sake of giving. They give because they know that if they were in the same spot, they would want someone to give to them. And that is huge for me. That means a lot to me, and I appreciate you heroes out there that are doing that. Popo, of course, uses the term maggot as a term of endearment. I will always call y'all my heroes. And it takes a hero to do what they've done.
It's one of the few ties to a bridged Popo that Blanco still holds on to.
This is true. So,
because everybody has a name for their community. And for me, maggot just seemed to roll off the tongue. It's a real easy word to say with that Popo voice. Maggot.
And I mean, to be fair, it's accurate to the character.
Yeah.
But for me, Kami never called them maggots. Kami would have called them heroes or trainees at like lowest.
Warriors.
So, bitches. No, wait, sorry, that's more Piccolo than Kami.
Yeah, that's what I named my canon folder. But
because bitches love cannons.
And we've been talking for an hour.
We have. It comes so naturally.
It does.
And that's part of why I love doing this podcast.
Because we both love to hear ourselves talk.
Actually, I love to hear you talk.
Oh, well, I love to hear me talk too.
Cheeky bastard.
Yeah, I love it.
So, that's actually that, as you mentioned, that's what you named your cannons folder. That does lead us into a little someone that is very much the co-star of things of the Blanco-verse. Hasn't really shown up on the podcast yet. If you're okay with it, I would like to speak to Mr. Alucard.
All right, but let me Allie, what? Kami wants to talk with you. Oh, fine. Yes.
Hello, Mr. Alucard.
Hello.
So I've been interviewing Matt.
No,
and
why?
The fans want to know things, and I am nothing if not a giver.
He says it's 6, but it's really more of like a 4.
Oh, of course. It's a man's 10. So I suppose what I want to ask of you is how how is it being in the Blancoverse, if you will?
Nobody yells at me anymore. It's boring. I don't like it here.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing.
I see, I see.
I'm starting to forget what it looks like when it's up.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You fear boners. That's right.
Hate boners. Let's get it right. I ain't scared of nothing. What was that? Ah!
Well, you hadn't been on the podcast yet, and I may have to figure out a full-blown Alucard interview at some point in the future.
Ooh,
Prepare
goody.
yourself, Allie. But with that being said, I think we got to take things to the man of the hour.
All right, fine.
Please,
Teasing me
please
with
release
a tip.
the djinn.
What do you want?
Oh, hello, Mr. Popo.
Oh, hi, Kami. It was you.
So, how long have you been on the lookout? Approximately.
What year is it?
It's the year of me 2026.
I think I've been doing this bit for 4 years now.
Yes, but how long have you been on the lookout?
Oh, let's see, today is Wednesday.
Area the 3.
A little over 1,000 years.
So, who trained you?
God, dude, like, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. You expect me to remember that?
Well, I suppose. Let me ask you. Can you tell us about Dumplin'?
Ah, yes. Such halcyon days. God, I was fat. So full of life, potential. Bitches crawling out of the woodwork. And then I got really powerful and wound up here.
I mean, that's pretty much an accurate timeline. So, you have very clear rules.
I was born,
Why
shit
are
happened,
rules-
the end.
Why are rules so important to you?
Well, between you, me, and these weirdly cut tiles, they don't. Not really. It's just fun to watch the maggots squirm.
Okay.
Once you've established the rules, and the fact that you're not fucking around, that's where the entertainment begins.
So, as you say, you've established the rules. What happens to people who don't follow those rules?
Oh, I throw them off the edge of the lookout.
Is there something in particular you say when you do so?
Well, that depends. If they're endearing and I like them, I invite them back up with a nice warm, enjoy the climb back up, bitch. To let them know that they're still welcome here.
So you punish rule breakers with expulsion. Is obedience about safety or
I will
control?
say this. I will say this. In the case of MC Widow's Peak, if I spike you like a volleyball off the edge of the lookout, you're not welcome back up.
So is obedience about safety or control?
Oh, shits and giggles. I mean, the more they listen, the more they follow instructions, the better their training is going to be and the better off they'll be in the long run. But by and large, it just gets me off.
So with that being said, this more of a philosophical question here, but what's the biggest mistake that mortals make when seeking power?
Oh, God. Well, sometimes they don't know when to stop. We had this one gentleman who came up there. I don't know how he got there. He said he was out for a run, but then I have to assume that means he just ran up the side of the lookout all the way up the pole, past Corin, just completely skipped him. He thought he saw a shimmer of something. We later found out that was just a glare off the top of his head. But yeah, dude got so strong that everything else bored him.
I see.
So
I see.
we had to send him to his own universe. He had potential, just not a lot of fun to be around.
So now I'm the new Kami, which means that obviously there was the new Kami before me, as we know, Little
Dende.
Green Dende,
Yeah, Dende.
Gohan's number one fan. And then, of course, there was the man, the myth, the legend that I look up to, one half of Piccolami, the OG Kami. So
That's
you've
right.
served multiple gods.
That's true. You know, it's funny that you mentioned Dende. He called me yesterday wanting to know if I knew how to apply makeup in such a way that would make him look like a 6-year-old girl. I think he's starting to see Pan as competition.
I'll have to go have the talk with him again.
I hope, I please do. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
So, I had which ones lasted written down here, but obviously we know which ones lasted.
So,
Kami would have stuck around till the end of time if, you know,
well, the end of
his
his
power.
time. I'll level with you. Man had 3 weeks left in him.
Oh, he was 2 days from retirement, but Piccolo
Yeah.
came.
He was 2 days from retire. Then Piccolo came, but he didn't want to see him too desperate. You
I
know,
see.
he really just wanted to kind of phase it off as like, oh, let's let's not make him think we want it too much. But you know, the Kami of that time, I should say, with all the subtlety of a burning cactus, went too far with it and started yelling, and it got really awkward for everybody.
Yep.
I had to
You were,
pretend I was high to avoid the whole thing.
yes, I was going to address that. Everyone knows about the notorious Gallon. I think we can finally let something go exclusively on this interview. Mr. Popo, are you even capable of getting high?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do it all the time. The gallon is a real thing. It's just that for that scenario, I had to play it up. All these squares making a circle was actually a callback to a trip I had had 2 days prior where I forgot that masonry blades existed. And I'm like, all these tiles are squares. How do they make a circular edge? And Kami had to remind me that we paid good money to have good men come up here and do that job for us. So, I was just being a little silly. But Piccolo wasn't there for that one. So it worked.
It worked.
Kind of funny that I'd be tripping for 5 hours only to come down right as the deed was done.
So, is there a difference between a god and someone who thinks they're a god?
Yes. The difference between those two is that gods usually don't interact with humanity unless they absolutely have to, and those who only think they're gods usually have a podcast where they talk about what people should and should not do to be X, Y, or Z. Like if you're only a real man if you do this. Real women shouldn't be doing this. Like, those guys think they're gods, but they're really just assholes.
I can agree with that. That's why we don't bring up those kind of topics here.
No,
And
we don't.
I mean, I suppose that's also why after accepting the role of Kami, I've slowly but surely become more and more introverted.
Nah, yeah, welcome to my world, man. Fuck people.
So, couple quick rapid fire questions, I guess you could say, and then we'll go ahead and get into the. I'll have you send Matt back out, and we'll get into. Actually, you
Okay.
know what? I will go ahead. We're going to do 75 questions. It's going to be 25 questions 3 times. I'm going to ask all three of you, you,
Oh, okay.
Allie, and Mr. Matt. Um, but rapid fire for you: Kami or
Okay.
Dende?
Kami.
Hyperbolic time chamber: tool or punishment?
It is a tool.
Pecking order:
Yes.
training Goku again? Yes or no?
In a heartbeat. Oh my god, he was so endearing.
Mercy:
Never.
muffins.
Love them. Growing to hate them because of Coco.
Muffin buttons.
One of my lesser experiments, though it did come in handy.
Now, lose the ability to summon Shenron or allow Vegeta to call you Black Man one time.
Well, I guess I ain't talking to old Shenny for a while.
Do you have any advice? So, what advice would you give someone who feels small? We're gonna get a little bit of endearing, Mr. Popo here. What advice would you give someone who feels small?
It's not so much advice as I would take them to Krillin's house. You're gonna walk away from there feeling a lot better. Either about yourself, or you'll have hope that there is also hope for you.
I was about to say, does Krillin have his pants on or off?
If it comes to that, depending.
How do you endure centuries of responsibility?
A gallon of LSD.
What should people
Self-filling.
stop asking for?
I should go back on that. Self-filling gallon of LSD. I get to make wishes on the dragon too. What was the question?
What should people stop asking for?
5 more inches to their height.
What is one rule that everyone should follow?
Don't be a dick.
Do you enjoy being interviewed?
I started off enjoying it, but I really need to scratch my ass, and I can't do that on camera.
So what happens to interviewers who ask too many questions?
Keep going, you'll find out.
Should I feel honored or afraid?
Yes.
All right. So, Popo, I'm going to ask that you would kindly send back out Matthew.
Okay. God, why does he hold a smile that long?
All right, my brother. Your choice. Okay. What we start with. Would you like to start with the Pavot questions from inside the actor studio or the Colbert questionnaire extraordinaire?
Let's do the first one. The Pavot.
All right.
Sounds fancy.
So these 10 questions originally came from a French series, Bouillon de Colter, hosted by Bernard Pavot. I, of course, am borrowing them from one of my favorite interview series, Inside the Actors Studio. So I am going to go ahead and use your last name here because the way that Lipton would address his people would be by their last name. So, Mr. O'Shields.
Yes.
What is your favorite word?
Skippy.
What is your least favorite word?
French.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Pure originality.
What turns you off?
AI.
What is your favorite curse word?
Damn.
What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of a child's laughter.
What sound or noise do you hate?
The same sound after I realize I'm home alone at 3 a.m.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would very much like to get into the world of video game design.
What profession would you not like to do?
I do not want to do sanitation.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
What the fuck? How did... Fine.
Now, would you like to move on to the Colbert questionnaire, or would you like to get Mr. Alley and I'll ask him the Pavot questions?
No, let's go ahead and do the questionnaire. I'm glad I almost got you to break on the sound one, though.
What's the best sandwich?
A Reuben.
What's one thing you own that you really should throw out?
Oh God. Give me like 2 seconds to think. I really should throw out that Santa Claus outfit.
What is the scariest animal?
Scariest?
Scariest animal.
Us, dude.
Apples or oranges?
Prefer oranges.
Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
Yes.
Who?
Chuck Norris.
What do you think happens when we die?
Okay, how much time do we have? You see, that's the beauty of it. I don't know, but I like to think that our consciousness is part of a greater collective and that when we die, it returns to that collective. All parts of us. But I'd like to hope that the traditional stylings of heaven exist, if only because there are people I'd wish to see again.
Favorite action movie?
Oh, God, Die Hard.
Favorite smell?
Chocolate.
Least favorite smell?
Oh, it's a whole nother kind of chocolate, ain't it? I changed so many diapers, dude. You can guess.
Exercise. Worth it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to water, flat or sparkling?
Depends if I want to mix in like a fruit, like a flavor packet, sparkling. Just be prepared for the
Most used app on your phone?
TikTok.
You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. Now, to clarify, this does not mean that it is on repeat, but every time that you choose to listen to music, this is the only song that you hear. What
Kickstart
is
My
it?
Heart by Motley Crue.
What number am I thinking of?
42.
Incorrect. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Let's get through it alive.
All right. If you would, please send out the terror of Barovia, the swath of blood,
Oh, say it slower.
the cannon that bitches love.
Goddamn right.
All right.
Yes, I'm back. What do you want?
Mr. Tepes,
Yes.
what is your favorite word?
Oh, probably bitches.
What is your least favorite word?
Paperwork.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Physical violence.
What turns you off?
I'll let you know when I figure that out.
What is your favorite curse word?
Bitches.
What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of being yelled at.
What sound or noise do you hate?
It'd probably be boardroom meetings.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
You know, I've always wanted to get into the world of landscape painting.
What profession would you not like to do?
I would really not like to be the janitor at the place I currently work.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
How in the flying fuck did you get past security?
What's the best sandwich?
A Jill sandwich.
What's one thing you own that you really should throw out?
The police girl.
What's the scariest animal?
Um, have you ever heard of a koala?
Apples or oranges?
Apples.
Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
I once thought I met John Leguizamo at an IHOP, but he just turned out to be Puerto Rican, so no.
What do you think happens when we die?
What do I think? Well, that really depends. Did you die to me? Because I can tell you what happens then.
Favorite action movie?
Die Hard.
Favorite smell?
Blood.
Least favorite smell?
The Frenchman.
Exercise. Is it worth it?
Oh, yeah, no, it's good for your cardiovascular system.
When it comes to water, flat or sparkling?
Anything that's not blessed.
The most used app on your phone?
TikTok.
You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. Now, this doesn't mean that it plays on repeat, but every time that you choose to listen to music, it's the only song that you hear. What is it?
Bloody Tears from Castlevania 2.
What number am I thinking of?
17.
Nope. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Oh. Okay, so it's gonna be can't stop, won't stop, bitch.
All right. And I summon the djinn in interview mode.
Ow.
All right. Mr. Blanco,
Uh-huh.
what is your favorite word?
Maggot.
What is your least favorite word?
Vegeta.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Fear.
What turns you off?
Hope.
What is your favorite curse word?
Um, you know, Allie had it on it. Bitch.
What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, the sound of maggots screaming.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Krillin talking about his latest obsession.
What profession, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
Human resources at a daycare.
What profession would you not like to do?
Uh, shit, I barely do the job I do now, but let's just go ahead and say customer service at a Walmart.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when we arrive at the pearly gates?
Hi, Dad.
What is the best sandwich?
Oh, easily, I would have to give that to the Cuban. It's perfection.
What's the one thing you own that you really should throw out?
Jinx.
What's the scariest animal?
Try to think of one that exists in your world. I got dinosaurs in mine. Let's see. What are those one birds that when they clack their beaks it sounds like gunfire? Those things are terrifying.
Shoebill stork.
Yeah, those things. Fucking hell, man.
Apples or oranges?
Are we juicing them?
Apples or oranges?
Now we'll go with orange. I like orange juice better.
Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
No.
What do you think happens when we die?
You're not a cop, are you?
Favorite action movie?
Die Hard.
Favorite smell?
Oh, man. Flower garden.
Least favorite smell?
Vegeta.
Exercise. Is it worth it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to water, flat or sparkling?
Flat. And black. Then something I brewed in the basement. It's good for butt chugging. And vape
Most
pens.
used app on your phone?
Uber Eats.
You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. It's not on repeat necessarily, but every time you listen to music, this is all that you hear. What is it?
Make a Man Out of You from the Mulan soundtrack.
What number am I thinking of?
37.
Incorrect.
Okay, well, which one is it?
I work in a middle school. What do you think it is?
I was hoping it wasn't.
We're not going to say it on the podcast. Describe your life, the rest of your life, in 5 words.
Damn, I can't even hit you with a don't tell me what to do. That's 6. And you know, if we're gonna play fair here. Let's say we're gonna be sleeping, eating, living, laughing, fucking.
I like it. All right. Well, thank you all for your time.
I can't do all 3 voices at the same time, so you just have to accept me.
That's okay. You are the conduit for all.
Now, is this the end of the interview?
This is the end of the interview.
Okay. There is something I want to say, not to address anything specifically, but a part of me that wasn't addressed today that I feel I really want people to understand about me. I, more than probably any other person is willing to admit, understand how finite life can be. I spend a good part of my day bathing in that existential dread that we all experience from time to time. I almost exist in it nonstop. So much to the point that I am no longer uncomfortable in the concept of it. The decisions I make in my life, the people whom I choose to keep in my life, and to touch on a topic without getting too into detail, the people who I choose to continue to support in my life, is simply because I've seen what they've done. I've seen who they are. I can almost see how much more that they can be and do for the world, and understand that at the end of the day, on my final breath, what will it have mattered that I hoisted myself in a superior position in the moment to appease the masses, when all I really wanted to do was to tell my friend how proud I was of them. I will continue to be me, unapologetically, until the day that the internet eventually swallows me into obscurity, as it does all of us.
Well said.
Thank you.
As all good interviews end, do you have anything you'd like to plug? Any announcements you have to make?
Well, there was that
any upcoming
thing.
projects?
Well, there was what we discussed with the Patreon becoming atop the lookout. I was trying to think of like something we could do that like ties it into a bit of the. Currently, what I have is on the lookout unfiltered. But because I guess the YouTube version is going to be abridged, technically, we'll have whole segments cut out. Nothing that'll disturb the flow.
On the lookout, cut for space and time.
Cut for space and time. There you go. Uncut for space and time, because it's going to be, for the Patreon exclusive. There'll be 2 or 3 segments throughout the whole thing that are cut out for time purposes, and then uploaded to YouTube. So if our thing runs an hour and 45 minutes, you could probably expect to see an hour and 15 of that on YouTube, with the almost completely uncut, trimmed down dead air where neither of us are talking, for the sake of not just dragging on. But we'll also have exclusives that are kept to the Patreon. I think after these 5 episodes, when we do our, he said whose line, or whatever we've been calling it,
the line
The
thing.
line
Doing
thing.
lines with Popo.
Doing lines
Wait a
with
minute.
Popo. Yeah, shit. Fuck. And now it's a party. That would probably be a Patreon exclusive thing. Just towards the end of it.
I can.
That would get cut out,
I
and then you'd go right into our outro after the last topic. But we have some restructuring to do. We have tiers that we're going to be adding. Eventually, somewhere down the line, we're going to try to get merch and, special little rewards for the people that contribute to the Patreon. Like maybe a 30-minute phone call with either me or Kami here on Discord where we can answer your questions directly. And, if you're looking to get into the world of voice acting, we'll do our best to help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
What I this is a podcast exclusive. I'm going to try and get in talks with the people behind Backstage and Voices 123 and see if we can get a lookout discount code.
hey,
Probably won't be much, but even if it's 10%, at least for Backstage, that's $50 right there.
yeah, no, that's
I'm gonna try and reach out to them, considering we are both aspiring. I mean, to be fair, you're no longer aspiring; you are full fledged because of villain support. You are a
I'm
full
paying
fledged.
I'm paying taxes on the fucking money I made doing voice work for them.
This is true. This is true. But with that being said, that is the end of our Popo interview.
Yeah.
So I believe, as is the tradition of the podcast, though, we still have a segment to do.
Did you pull some up already, or shall I entertain the masses while you do so?
You can entertain the masses while you can do some patter while I pull up. Do some crowd work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, all of you form a single file line, and if you're picky about which hand I use, get over it, okay?
Use both.
Use both. Oh, you're gonna get both.
You got some pretty mouth.
But I was a champion on the Nintendo Wii, so get used to one hand and then the other for a very long time. But no, we have some other things that we discussed. We have a cookbook that we're planning to come out with, hopefully this year. We are still compiling recipes. We will have a chapter dedicated to the top donors in our Patreon. Those who are at the highest tier will get special slots to donate a recipe that they adore. And then we'll make it into the cookbook. I am also talking with Kami about having a chapter that we never settled on a name, but I think I called it the food of spirit and time, or the meals of spirit and time. Basically, it is food for training. High nutritional value, lower calorie count, good for weight loss, and good for giving you that boost that you need to get going. I have a wonderful buffalo chicken dip recipe that I go back to once a month because, oh my god, it's good. Now, as far as the YouTube is concerned, I will be starting a sleep aid series of videos. I'm looking into getting some games that are more atmospheric, more musical based, that kind of have a very relaxing quality to them. And the voice that you'll hear throughout the entirety of it is this one right here. As I talk to you about things that have been going on in my life, what I'm hoping to accomplish, what I'm seeing on screen, and if you stay awake long enough, I might get a little out of pocket. I'm me, unapologetically, after all. But yeah, those are what I'm looking forward to the most. Kami, did you have anything else aside from that we might have discussed that I have forgotten?
Well, as this will be coming out on Friday.
Next Friday. Well, no, this Friday on the
Oh,
Patreon. Next Friday on the
yeah.
YouTube.
I'm gonna say it'll be coming out this Friday on the Patreon, next Friday on the YouTube. Um, Either way, either Friday will be in the month of February, which
Yeah.
means that at
Yes.
at 7 p.m. PST, that's 9 p.m. Central and 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh,
Um, we are going to be streaming in honor of Heart Health Month. We are going to be streaming Stardew Valley, a game
That's
about,
right.
earning hearts with your towns members and things like that. So we are going to be starting our Stardew Valley playthrough. We'll be doing that every Friday in February, and we will be accepting donations on behalf of the American Heart Association, the AHA. Basically, at the end of the month, whatever we have received that is earmarked specifically as donations. So subscriptions will still go to Popo because we are streaming primarily on his Twitch. But anyone that donates that money, we will cut a check to the AHA.
Yep.
Because heart health is incredibly important.
It
And,
is.
February is often touted as, the love month because of Valentine's Day. So that's why they lean into the heart motif. And I think that heart health is something that's really important to all of us. And we want to make sure that proper research towards cardiovascular support is continually funded. So.
Now, I do want to step in and say you're only really going to find this next bit of information useful if you're seeing this on Patreon February 6th of 2026, because once by the time this hits YouTube, it's going to be too late. Episodes 1 through 4 of Atop the Lookout, the podcast, will be airing at intervals all Friday morning on the 6th, starting at noon, then at 2, then at 4, and I think the next one I set until probably 10 p.m. because I couldn't remember when I set the last one, and I was too lazy to go back and look. So
Hey, it
I
doesn't.
just said 10 p.m. So this is going to be
Oh, and in
airing.
theory, that means it shouldn't conflict with our streaming.
It really shouldn't. This one's going to be airing on the 13th. If you're watching this, because we will then have started recording the first monetized episode the prior Wednesday. I should also point out that if you're watching this, this one doesn't matter if you're on Patreon or YouTube. If you've made it this far, the playthroughs that I do every Saturday of the games that I think I'm currently on Batman Arkham Origins at the time of this recording will be airing every Wednesday, so long as I have a recording going on Saturday. Really kind of banking on, spring and summer break to roll through so I can just pile up some playthroughs, and then I've got like a backlog that I can put out, so if I miss a week, it's not a big deal. But what do you got?
Hold on. Because it spat out a lot of similar characters that it's given us before, so.
God, AI is more predictable than our fucking following.
And that's not to badmouth you, our following. We appreciate you being predictable. Predictable in the sense that you watch the podcast and all that lovely, all those lovely things.
No, I didn't mean it to be, hateful.
Okay, well,
This
it's
is that
still giving
I
it.
was talking about.
This is that dead air we were talking about, exactly. All right. So it did give us a few different monologues. It gave us very similar characters. So my stance on that is I'm going to say the character, and you can choose to do a different one if you want. Mind you, character does not necessarily have to be character. It, of course, can be actor as well, such as like Chris Walken, Morgan Freeman, etc. Actors that have very iconic voices. Because, oh yeah, I was doing Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi doesn't necessarily inherently have an iconic voice. He has an iconic look.
Yeah.
But it threw out the USS Indianapolis monologue from Jaws. The 1,100 men went into the water. The You Can't Handle the Truth court monologue from A Few Good Men. Characters. It would like the USS Indianapolis to be Optimus Prime. I already did one as Optimus a few episodes ago, but you have not, so... A Few Good Men, You Can't Handle the Truth as Super Kami Guru. You can never go wrong with a Super Kami Guru.
That one sounds funny, actually.
Sheriff Bell's opening monologue from No Country for Old Men as Winnie the Pooh. Goodwill Hunting's "It's Not Your Fault" monologue as Spawn,
Hmm.
the opening speech from the movie Patton as Mr. Popo, and the "I Drink Your Milkshake" monologue from There Will Be Blood as Christopher Walken. Again, we can change up those characters as long as
I kind of
we
want to.
we decide on a different one and announce who we're doing.
I kind of want to do the guru.
All right. Well, I will let you have at it then, good sir.
Okay, so what do I search for the monologue? You can't handle the truth monologue.
A Few Good Men, You Can't Handle the Truth monologue. Now be careful how you type that in. You don't want to type "You Can't Handle a Few Good Men."
Thank you, Otto. The movie speech from A Few Good Men. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be. I'm actually going to do this as switching back and forth between Nail and Guru. Because how it's
Okay.
laying out, I can't. Uh, I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled to them. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls. Those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Nail? I have greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago, and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic and hilarious, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves more lives. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties because you're not invited. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand the post. Either way, I don't give a damn about what you think you're entitled to. Did you order the code red? I did the job. Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did! That's as far as I'm going. Thank you. I had to.
I love
Guru's
it.
too fun.
I love it. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Super Comic Guru. So I wanted to do the Goodwill Hunting, but the problem is it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue.
Oh, god damn it.
So hold on, we're just gonna go ahead and do the good old Google search of literally Goodwill Hunting monologue.
There
There
are no
we go.
monologues in Goodwill Hunting. God damn it.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a
Damn
bitch.
it, Sam.
Starting over.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick. I'll give you three choices here.
Okay.
I've already done Optimus, but I feel like the monologue I'm going to do really lends itself to Optimus, so I think that's
Okay.
an option. Winnie the Pooh, or, and this one's going to be a hot take because I don't necessarily always have his voice perfect, but Dean from Supernatural.
Oh
Damn it,
yeah.
Sammy.
Okay, what is the monologue you're doing?
It's the Your Move Chief monologue from Good Will Hunting.
You know what? I happen to agree with you. I think Optimus is the way to go with that one.
What's this? A taster's choice moment between guys? This is really nice. You got a thing for swans? This is like a fetish or something like we need to devote some time to? Thought about what you said to me the other day. About my painting. Stayed up half the night thinking about it. Something occurred to me, and I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep, and I haven't thought about you since. You know what occurred to me? No, you're just a kid. You don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Why, thank you. It's all right. You've never been out of Boston. Nope. So if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the on about every art book ever written. Michelangelo, you know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation. The whole works, right? But I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You've never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling. Seen that. If I asked you about women, you'd probably give me a syllabus of your personal favorites. You may have even been late a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. You're a tough kid. If I ask you about war, you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watched him gasp his last breath, looking to you for help as he's leaking energon. If I ask about love, you'd probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone who can love you with her eyes. Feel like God put an angel on earth just for you. Who could rescue you from the depths of hell. And you wouldn't know what it is to be her angel. To have that love for her, to be there forever. Through anything. Through cancer. And you wouldn't know about sleeping. Sitting in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much. I look at you, I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared shitless kid. But you're a genius, Will. No one denies that. No one could possibly understand the depths of you. But you presume to know everything about me because you saw a painting of mine. You ripped my fucking life apart. You're an orphan, right? Do you think I'd know the first thing about how hard your life has been, how you feel, or who you are, because I read Oliver Twist? Does that encapsulate you? Personally, I don't give a shit about all of that. Because you know what? I can't learn anything from you that I can't read in some fucking book. Unless you want to talk about you, who you are, and I'm fascinated. I'm in. But you don't want to do that, do you, sport? You're terrified of what you might say. Well, your move, Chief. Almost lost me there because I forgot it had the part about his wife and the cancer.
Yeah.
you listeners will get to know why that affects me so much when we do the Kami interview episode here in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
do you wanna do that one? Maybe for episode 10.
we could do that. Do interviews every 5 episodes.
Yeah. Well, just for now until we can line up some people to get on the show.
Well, exactly. And what we can do is we can try and line up our first guest for episode 15.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, with that being said, that was this episode's edition of This Line, That Guy.
That's what we're calling
And
it?
that brings us... and that brings us to the end of episode 5. The Popo interview of On the Lookout.
We shall title it Much Ado About Popo.
Much Ado About Pooh.
Much Ado About...
No, wait, that would be the Pooh interview.
Or as many people like to mispronounce my name, Poop.
Mr. Poop.
They call me Mr. Poo-Poo or Mr. Poop. They always forget it's Popo. Yeah, it means the same thing, but...
But, that, you know...
the spelling's important. See, it's a capitalized P, so it's a proper noun.
Oh, God, Popo's turned into Peter Griffin. It's Popo Griffin!
They call me Pooter.
It's Popo Griffin.
Hi. I'm Popo the Griffin.
All right, listen up, maggots.
All right, listen up, you maggots.
Peter's about to teach you the pecking order.
About to teach you everything about the pecker. Pecking?
No,
what does that
Mr.
mean?
Mr. Griffin. Mr. Griffin's pecking order.
What the fuck's a pecking order?
It goes Meg, the dirt.
Oh, it goes Meg, yous guys, the dirt. The worms inside the dirt.
My stool, and there's a lot of it.
That's the problem, is that my impressions are too good. I don't have any original characters.
I mean, you do. One of my absolute favorite reads you've done is doing the Fallout inspired script that I gave you. I gave everyone.
That was just my normal voice.
It was, but it was still characterized to a degree. Like, yes, it was your voice, but you very much embodied, like, honestly, kind of Walton Goggins' ghoul character without embodying Walton Goggins, because it happened before the show came out.
Trust me, we're all trying to body Walton Goggins right now.
He could have me.
Why is the ghoul kind of hot? I still want them to do. I don't know why the fuck they put him in Fallout 76, but they won't give me the Fallout Frontiers that I've been begging for. Like, give me the Wild West, the wild radioactive West.
Well, we're not going to say anything because it just aired today, I believe. But the final episode of season 2, it leans into some things that I will be interested to see if they pursue in the games. We'll put it that way. And with that being said, all right, everybody, this has been On the Lookout with Derek, aka Kami,
and Matt, aka Popo.
I am Derek, aka Kami, CEO and founder of Atop the Lookout Productions. And remember, you are deserving of love. You are loved because I love you. And in all that you do, above all else, do good.
And of course, I am Matt, aka Popo. And all I have to say is from the bottom of my heart, thank all of you for making it possible to get to where I am today. See you next time, maggots. Bye.